Hello. If you're watching this, you've enrolled in History 1301, Section 6412. My name is Dr. Ryan Pettengill. I'll be your professor for the next 5 weeks. And what I'd like to do with this video clip is lay out some of the expectations, requirements, and guidelines for our class. As you should know by now, this is the first half of the American History Survey, so it covers the years, roughly speaking, 1400 to approximately 1877, at the end of the Civil War. Now, there are a variety of different topics and themes that we'll be covering throughout the semester, but there's something that is going to be tying all of them together, something that I want you to think about as you continue through this class. And that theme is the issue of freedom, American freedom. If you think about that, that's a very loaded term, and it means very different things to a lot of different people. So that's what the class is. Now what I'd like to do is lay out the expectations and the requirements for the class. If you've not yet done so, I'd like you to get a copy of the syllabus so that you can follow along with me in the next few minutes. If you need to, go ahead and put me on pause. You can find a copy of the syllabus by going to the eCampus site, going into the Content section, and then going into the Course Documents folder. Inside the Course Documents folder, you'll see the syllabus, and you can download it and print it out. If you need to, put me on pause. Alright, because this is an online class, it's going to be very important that we communicate in an efficient manner. The easiest way to get in communication with me is through email. I check my email relatively regularly, and as long as you can get me a message before 3 o'clock Monday through Thursday, I should be able to respond in the same day. It's not as frequent on the weekends, but I'm still pretty good about responding to email Friday to Sunday. I do have an office at Mountain View College. It's W243 in the West Wing, the second floor. I'm usually there in the mornings. It's a pretty safe bet, although I am teaching. So if you want to make sure that we actually meet, it's probably best that you schedule an appointment with me before you show up. Okay, but that is also a way of getting hold of me. What we need to talk about now there are good things and there are bad things about taking a class like this. The good things...
Online class, much of the online reading has been digitized and you don't need to buy a book. For those of you that have gone over to the bookstore, you will have noticed that there's a book entitled My Bondage and My Freedom by Frederick Douglass. This book is required, but you can find a copy of it in the online text folder in eCampus. It's a PDF file, and you can print it out if you have access to cheap or free printing, or if you prefer, you can read it right online. It really doesn't matter to me. Also, there's a book that's required entitled Sam Patch, the Famous Jumper. You can buy a hard copy of that at the bookstore or some other facility, or you can read it online as it has been digitized as well. The only book that has not been digitized and thus needs to be bought is a book entitled America's History by... This is available at the Mountain View College bookstore, but you can also find it on sites like Amazon or half.com. It may be cheaper, I don't know for sure, but you are under no obligations of buying from Mountain View College's bookstore. If you can get it cheaper, then more power to you. There are additional readings that are required for this course, but you can find a copy of those readings in the week-to-week folders on eCampus, and I'll explain that in just a second. For right now, I'd like you to flip to page 3. I'm going to allow you to read the syllabus in its entirety on your own time. What you're going to find on page 3 is a course outline. Now, what this is a breakdown week to week of what we're going to be talking about, but it's also got some pretty important dates on it that you need to be mindful of. I want to do this as an example. Take a look at week 1. Week 1 is going to point out that we'll be talking about European contacts in the Americas and the establishment of European colonial societies.
But in addition to the topic for the week, it also outlines what you need to do for the assignments. So for example, in week 1, you are to read the online documents, and you can find a copy of these documents in a folder entitled Online Readings in the week 1 folder. There's one for week 1, there's one for week 2, there's one for every week that we're going to be going through this class. Those are online, and as you'll find out, many of the assignments are drawn from those online readings. The other thing that you need to do when it comes to the reading is you need to read chapters 1 through 3 of the Henrietta America's History text. Additionally, you need to begin reading Frederick Douglass. There are no real page requirements in terms of you have to be through page 100 by the end of the week. Just understand that a significant portion of the midterm exam is going to be based off of your understanding and consequently knowledge of the Douglass text.
So it's very important that you begin reading that text as soon as possible. After the reading, you need to watch various lessons of the DVD series entitled Shaping America. Now, I sent you an email about a week ago that encouraged all of you to go over to the Mountain View College library and check out a copy of this DVD series. Some of you may have gotten copies of the DVDs. Others of you may have gotten a copy of the CD-ROM. At any rate, they're all the same, and it really doesn't matter whether or not you have a CD-ROM or a DVD. But these online the DVD lessons are going to be important for your participation in this class. For this week, what I need you to do is watch lessons 1 through 6 of the Shaping America DVD series. You will have to participate in a discussion forum, and I will describe what exactly that entails in just a few minutes. However, the last thing that you need to do for the week 1 assignment is you need to complete quiz 1 and quiz 2. Both of these quizzes are available to you in a folder on eCampus in the week 1 folder. It's entitled Assignments. You can download a copy of the quiz and you can respond electronically. The quiz will indicate exactly when it is due. So for example, the first quiz is due Wednesday, July 13th by 11:59 p.m. The rest of the assignments are relatively self-evident. The one thing that I really would like to emphasize before I move on, the online discussion forums. You need to participate in these forums no later than every Friday of each week of the semester. The syllabus is really clear in terms of indicating when the deadlines are. For example, in week 1, the deadline to participate in this forum is no later than 7/15/2011 by 11:59 p.m. There is a corresponding date to each one of the forums. In the next video segment, what I'm going to be talking about are the evaluation procedures. So what I'd like you to do right now is click on the next video link and listen along with your syllabus as I lay out the requirements for this course.